8th grade, so you guys are on 4.6. We're going to write equations in slope-intercept form, which is more of what we've been doing. You have a warm-up. Let's see what you have going on here. Okay, do you guys remember this? This was a chapter ago. Find the value of x. Somebody tell me on when you find the exterior angle of a triangle, what's the fastest way to find this value? Anybody? Jump in. Oh, I need to present my screen.
What was the
like a
question?
dork. Hold on, I gotta present my screen. A tab. Sure. Okay. Apologies. Okay, so you're looking at the warm-up here, 4.6. You have an exterior angle of this triangle. What's the easiest way to find the measure of this exterior angle? Elena.
Addition.
Yes. You're not awake either. Hold on, I gotta drink some more coffee. Okay, so what are we adding?
81
We
and
are
57.
adding 57 and 81.
Yes, to find the exterior angle, you add together the interior opposite side angles. So you're going to add 81 and 57, plug it in for x, and you should be able to do that for both of those. I will give you all just a moment. Alright, so this is example 1. We're going to write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line that passes through the given points. So, first of all, what is slope-intercept form? Somebody shout it out.
Y equals mx plus b.
Yes, y equals mx plus b. Now, to do that, we need to find m and b, correct? Say yes, nod your heads, thumbs up, whatever you do.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so, because I can't see you guys when I'm teaching this, I'm just looking at the computer screen. So,
Yes.
yay, thank you. All right, so the first thing we need to do is find the slope here. Can we find the slope when we have 2 points?
Yes.
Yes.
We can. Thank you. So we're going to use our equation y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Again, it doesn't matter which one you assign as the 1s and the 2s, as long as you do the same. For keep the 2s with the 2s and the 1s with the 1s. All right, so we're going to do 2 minus 5. I would have done that the other way, but that's okay. And 2 minus 0. So what is 2 minus 5?
-3.
Negative 3, and 2 minus 0?
2.
2. So our slope is negative 3 over 2. Now, can we see where our y-intercept is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, where's the
Yes.
y-intercept? Yes.
5.
Yes, it crosses the y line at 5. So our b would be 5. So you can write this as y equals negative 3 halves x plus 5. And you have now written it in slope-intercept form. Oh, sorry. Any questions on that?
No.
No, ma'am.
Okay, let's do the next part. Everybody got this? Can I move on to the next one?
Yes. Yeah.
Thanks. All right, write the equation in slope-intercept form of the line that passes through the given points. So again, all we have are points. We're going to have to find exactly where it crosses the y-line, and we're going to have to pick 2 of these points to solve for the slope. Okay, remember, what is the value of x when it's crossing the y-line? When it's on the y-line, the y-intercept, what is x usually?
0.
Excellent. So since
0.
this is 0, this is your y-intercept. So it crosses the y-line at negative 3. So now we just need to find the slope. Okay? You can pick any 2 points out of this chart. You can pick 9, 12 and 0, negative 3. You can pick 6, 7 and 3, 2. I mean, it does not matter. The slope will be the same because this is a line. Okay, so there we're going to choose 0, negative 3, and 3, 2 because the math is super easy when the numbers are that small. So we have negative 3 minus 2 over 0 minus 3. What is negative 3 minus 2? Goes further.
Negative 5.
5.
Negative 5. And what is 0 minus 3?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. Now I have a negative divided by a negative here. So what does that make it?
A positive.
A
Excellent.
positive.
So the slope is 5/3. And we already found our y-intercept was negative 3. So I can write this as y equals 5/3 x minus 3. Any questions?
No.
All right.
No, ma'am.
Go and do your triads number 1 and 2. So on this screen, excuse me, they've given you a graph of a line, and they show you 2 points, right? So they show you that we have 1 point here at 0, 2, and another point here at 1, 4. You're going to use these 2 points to solve to find the slope, because all you have to do when you're solving for slope is have 2 points. Then you can always solve for the slope. So my points are 1, 4. Wow, I need to redo that. Hold on. I know you can't see my screen yet. I'll share it, I promise. 1, 4 and 0, 2. Okay, everybody understands that those are the 2 points available for me.
Yes.
All right, let me go switch my sharing to the other thing. A window. Okay, so now that I have these 2 points, let me let it load. I can use that to use my equation. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so this is how you solve for slope, m. Always. So you're going to use these 2 points, and you just make one of them x, because remember, this is your x value and this is your y value of every point. So one of the point values is going to be your 2's and one's going to be your 1's. So I'm going to make this side my 2's. So this is x2, y2, and this one's going to be x1, y1. It does not matter which ones you assign where, as long as you keep the 2's with the 2's and the 1's with the 1's. Otherwise, it does not matter. Okay? So once I've assigned that, now I'm going to solve it. So I'm going to say, okay, y2 minus y1 on top. So here's my y2. I'm going to put a 4 minus, and here's my y1. So 4 minus 2 over. Now I do my x2. So that'd be 1 minus my x1, which is 0. And now I simplify. What is 4 minus 2?
2.
And 1 minus 0?
1.
1. Any number over 1 is just that number, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So my slope is 2. So far, ooh, that's a horrible y. Y equals 2x plus b, right?
Yes.
So then the last thing we need to solve is b. Remember, b is where it crosses on the y line on the graph. So you could look at the graph and say, okay, where is this crossing that y line? It crosses at what?
2.
2, absolutely. Or we could look here, because the other way to remember it, if you don't have a graph, like say they just give you the 2 points. Anytime you're looking for the y-intercept, if the x is 0, that's your y-intercept. Because 0, x being 0 means that it's crossing the y line at that point. So then my final equation is y equals 2x plus 2, because that's where it crosses the y line. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay. All right, see if you can do the second one. All right, so here's number 2. So in this case, you see that they did not give you a graph. So you're literally just using points, okay? So coordinates. So we're going to pick any 2 coordinates here and use those to solve for the slope. So which 2 points do you want to use? Pick. I'll let you pick.
I'll do -3,
Okay.
and 0, -1.
Good. I would have chosen those as well. 0, -1. All right. So now we need to assign one of these to be my y1 and x1, and the other one to be my y2 and x2. So I would probably make the 3, 3 my 2's. So I'm going to say y2, or excuse me, x2. That is not a y. X value first. Oh no. Alright, guess I'm changing to red. So this is x2, y2, because remember, this is the x value, this is the y value. So then this is x1, y1.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my equation is what?
Y2 minus y1
Over
over x1 minus y2, or x2 minus y1.
x. Stay with the x's. X and x. Alright, so I'm going to go up here and look at y2 and put 3 minus my y1. Now it has a negative, so it's minus a minus.
Yes, ma'am.
Just make sure you write it that way.
Put a parenthesis. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, and then we do my x values, so -3
3
minus 0.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Whoa. Man, it's hard to write. Alright, so we have 3 minus a -1. When I have two negatives next to each other like this, it becomes a
Positive.
positive. So 3 plus 1 is
4.
4.
excellent. And then I have -3 minus 0, which doesn't change. So I just have -3, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So my slope is -4/3, because the negative that's on the bottom just now applies to the whole thing. So far I can say y equals -4/3 x. That's my slope. So now I just need to find my b. Remember what the b is? It crosses the y line. And
Yes, ma'am.
what value of x
0.
is 0? So do we have that already?
No.
Yeah,
yes,
right here.
Yes,
X is 0. So my y-intercept is at what?
-1.
Excellent. So you're going to say -1.
Oh,
And there's your
okay,
equation.
thank you.
You're welcome. Alright, so we're going to do this is example 2 for your journals. Which equation is shown in the graph? So you're going to have to look at this and say, okay, what's the slope and what's the y-intercept, and try and decide which equation is here. So first, let's look at this line. What kind of line is this?
Horizontal.
Horizontal, very good. Horizontal line. So what is our slope?
0.
Yeah, we have no slope. A slope would mean that the line would be at some kind of angle, right?
Yes.
Yep, well, we have no angle. So that's why you see all of these are trying to trick you. There is no mx. There's no slope with the x net. Well, there is right here. So we already know it's not d, right? Because there's no slope. This is telling you the slope's -3. So we already know it's not d. So we're going to have y equals, and then the y-intercept is the only value we have. So what is the y-intercept here?
-4.
Excellent. So our equation is going to be y equals -4.
-4.
So our answer is A. Oh, here's all their instructions. My slope is 0 because they picked 2 points, you see here, and it came out with 0 divided by 3. You can't divide 0 by 3, so it's just 0. That's why your slope is 0. Make sense?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, go do your next one. Sorry. So my two values here, I'm choosing x2, y2. A lot of times I look at the 2 points I have chosen. I will set my x2 and y2 on the bigger number, because that means in my equation it's going to be first, which means the math will not usually be negative. Again, you don't have to. No matter which one you put, it's going to work. I just find I make less errors if I have the bigger numbers first. Just for that. Alright, so we're going to do y2 minus y1 again over x2 minus x1. Yep. And this is solving for slope. So my y2 is 5. So I'm going to say 5 minus my y1 is 5. And then I'm going to go over my x2 is -4. And my x1 is 0. So now let's do the subtraction. 5 minus 5 is?
0.
-4 minus 0 is?
-4.
Excellent. Can I do 0 divided by -4?
Oh,
No. So your answer is just 0. So my slope in this case is 0. So that means if I was on a graph here, it's going to be a horizontal line. Because there's no slope. Okay? Alright, so then the next thing to do is find what is my y-intercept. What is the rule when we don't have the graph on how you find the y-intercept? X equals what?
0.
0. So do I have an x equaling 0 anywhere?
Yes.
Yes, right there. Okay, so that's telling you that this point right here is 5. So you would write the equation as y equals, and then just whatever the intercept is. Okay, so y equals 5. So you're going to go back in here and put a number 5 there. Does that help?
yes. Yes.
It's so sad that it helps. I was like, man, I don't want to do my math. Alright, try the next one. Alright, here's number 5 for self-assess. Write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line that passes through the given points. So again, you're using 2 of these points, doesn't matter which 2, to find for slope and y-intercept. Let me go to the whiteboard. Alright. New page. New page. Alright. So we have 4 points we can choose here. Does anybody want to pick the 2 points I want to use? I'll give you a hint. I always choose the one with 0 because the math is very easy in my head. I can do 1 minus 0 and always know the answer. So I'm going to pick these last 2 points because they don't have negatives and they have a 0. So the math will be very easy. So 1, 5 for one of my points and 0, 2 for the other point. Now again, I could choose all these negative points. That's fine. But the math will work. It'll come out to be the same, but I find more mistakes when people use negatives and stuff like that. So, all right, and again, I'm going to choose the bigger numbers for my 2's. So this is, I keep writing y. x2, y2, and x1, y1. And guys, until you get the hang of this, till it becomes very easy for you, I would label your points, and I would write this in your journals or wherever you need to write it down. Until this becomes easy for you to do in your head. Write it down, please. All right, so let's do this. Our equation is y2 minus what? Oh, everybody fell asleep.
Y1.
Yay! Over x2 minus
X1.
X1.
Yes. All right, so now let's plug them in. Our y2 is 5 minus our y1, which is 2, over, what's my x2?
1.
Yes, and x1?
0.
Yay.
0.
All right, let's do the math. What's 5 minus 2?
3.
3.
1 minus 0.
1.
Any whole number over 1 is just?
3.
Excellent. So far in my equation, I have y equals, my slope is 3. So I put 3x here. And then I just need my y-intercept plus b. What's the rule for finding the y-intercept when you just have the points? What does my x value have to be?
0.
0.
Do I have that?
Yeah.
So it's going to be plus.
2.
Excellent. So there's your equation. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Missies.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, so for number 7, they said write an equation of the line passing through 0, -5, and 2, -5. So we're choosing these 2 points. So they've already chosen your points for you. So we're just going to use those. Let me grab my whiteboard. My face is in the way. Alright. So I can't see the points because of my whiteboard. Would somebody read the 2 points to me?
0, -5, and 2, -5.
Okay, and then 2, -5. Alright, so we're going to use this to solve for slope.
Both of the 5s are negative.
Say that again?
Both of the 5s are negative.
Okay, so this is -5 as well. Good. Alright, so we're going to use these 2 points. Oh, and if you look here quickly, you see how my -5, these are both -5? So I'm assuming real quick here that I probably have a horizontal line. But let's do the math to be sure. So again, I'm going to make these the 2's over here because they're bigger. So x2, y2. That's how I do it. You don't have to. It doesn't really matter. And then this is x1, y1. So y2 minus y1 would be -5 minus 5, right? Ooh, -5 minus a -5, right? So yes, thank you. And then my x2 is 2 minus 0. So this is where it can trick you up here because you have to remember that we're doing subtraction of the 2 points. But in this case, the second point is negative, so it's a negative, which makes it a what?
Positive.
Positive. Yep.
Positive.
So then that means I have -5 plus 5, which makes that what?
0.
0.
Yep. 2 minus 0 is?
2.
2.
Can I do 0 divided by 2?
No.
It's just 0. So then I look and need to find what is my y-intercept. Y-intercept is shown when x equals?
0.
So what's my y-intercept?
-5. -5.
Excellent. So I'm going to say y equals, I don't need to write 0x, so I just say y equals -5. You know, that's okay. Alright, so we have a graph and we're writing slope-intercept form. So we have 2 points on this graph. Yes, Aaron?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to write these 2 points. You guys still see my whiteboard, right? That's what I have up?
Yes.
Okay, good. So 1 point is -1, 5, and my other point is 1, 1. -1. Ooh, almost messed up there. Alright, so using these 2 points, we can find the slope. So I'm going to set this side to be my 2's and this side to be my 1's. So this is x2 and y2. And this is x1 and y1. Alright, so let's solve for slope. What goes on top?
Y2 and Y1.
Yep. So 5 minus a -1, right? So I got to put that in parentheses. Over, and then I do my x values. So x2 is just -1. x1 is 1, so -1. Alright, so now right here I have a negative, which makes this a
Positive.
So 5 plus 1 is?
6.
-1 minus 1 goes further negative to be a?
-2.
Yes. Can I divide 6 by -2?
Yes.
It'd be negative what?
-4. Right. Oh, 3.
I know, we're all tired. We're all sleepy. All right, so my slope is -3. So in my y equals mx plus b equation, I so far have y equals -3x. So now I just need to find where it crosses the line, y line, plus b, right? Can you see that on the graph?
Yes.
What is it?
2.
Positive or negative?
Positive.
Excelente. Boom. Okay, you need to get your notebooks. This is example 3, question mark? Yes, 3. So, am I sharing the right screen? Let me check. Yes, I am. Okay, here we go. Engineers are digging a 3,500 foot long tunnel at a constant rate. Guys, when you hear the word constant in the equations, that's your slope. Constant is the constant rise of your equation of your line, so it's a slope. After 4 months, the engineers still need to dig 1,500 feet to finish the project. How much time does it take to complete the tunnel from start to finish? So over here, they show you, these are the drill bits, guys. If there was a guy standing here, he'd be about this tall. About as tall as my little arrow. It's a giant tunnel. So these are the machines that dig. They dug the Metro Gold Line in Los Angeles. The tunnels are 1.7 miles long and 21 feet wide. That is huge. All right, so we're going to write an equation that represents the distance y remaining after x number of months. Okay, slope-intercept form. So they've given you the first point, right? They started digging, so they haven't done anything, so your beginning is 0, and they need to dig 3,500 feet. Does that make sense? We haven't even started digging, so my x is 0. I want to dig 3,500. I want y, the distance, to be 3,500 feet. So we've got one value. Does that help? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. And then it says how much, after 4 months, the engineers still need to dig 1,500 feet. So do I have a second point here?
Yes.
Yes, because remember, this x value is how many months? So 4 is my x value, and I need 1,500 feet. So there is my second point, 4, 1,500 feet. Now, you saw I didn't go over this yet, but this being at 0, that means this 3,500 is my y value. So that's your y-intercept. All right, so now I have 2 points, 0, 3,500, and 4, 1,500. So I can use those 2 points to find how fast I'm digging. Okay, so you're going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I would have done this the other way, but you'll see how it doesn't really matter. So we're going to do 1,500 minus 3,500. What's 1,500 minus 3,500?
-2,000.
-2,000, and then we have 4 minus 0.
4.
Excellent. Now, can I can I divide -2,000 by 4?
Yes.
What
Yeah.
it would be negative what?
500.
500.
Excelente. So this is your slope. M equals -500. And then we already had our y-intercept, right? Up here at 3,500. So those are the 2 things I need to make an equation. So y equals what?
-500.
X
Plus.
plus.
Yeah,
X plus 3,500.
Yeah,
Excellent.
35.
Perfecto. Y equals -500x plus 3,500. So now, the reason you make this equation is some city managers coming along saying, how much longer do you need to finish this tunnel? You can be like, okay, I'm going to solve for y equaling 0. I need 4 more months, or whatever. So that's why this is real math. You can do this in real life. Oh, in fact, they want us to do that. It says, the tunnel is complete when the distance remaining is 0. So the tunnel is finished when y equals 0. So you just plug in 0 here where the y is and solve, and that'll tell us how many months we have left. Okay, so how do I solve for x here? It's my first step.
Subtract 3,500.
Yes, subtract 3,500 over to the other side. Okay, and then I got to get rid of this 500 here. How do I do that?
Division?
Yep. Divide. What is... Oh, I gave you the answer. What is 3,500 divided by... Good job. So how many months do we have left to finish this tunnel?
7.
Excellent.
7 months.
7 months. Very good. I hate it when I click too early and then you get the answer. Ah. All right. Go do your last set of self-assess. Just a couple. Shouldn't take you long. Okay, so for number 8, a word problem. You load boxes into an empty truck at a constant rate. So this is going to be a slope intercept. After 3 hours, there are 100 boxes on the truck. How much longer do you work if you load a total of 120 boxes? Okay, so you heard the 3 hours, 100 boxes. So when you hear that, you need to think, oh, that's a point. Let me share my other screen. Okay, so we heard the 3 hours, 100 boxes. So there, that when I whoa, that is a weird 3. I can't leave it. There we go. 3 and 100. So 3, 100. Does that make sense? Everybody understands that that becomes a point?
Yes.
Okay, so then it says, how much longer do you work if you load a total of 120 boxes? So I have 120 boxes. How do I know my X value here?
I don't know.
We don't know.
Me either.
So I'm going to put an X value there. Because we don't know that one, right?
No.
Good. Alright. Hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so we're trying to find our other point here. So this 120 do what?
My flight got canceled.
Dang it. My bad. Okay, let's try this again. Alright, so we're trying to find our next point, right? This 120 is when we're all done, and we need to find how many hours are left. Okay? This is when we're partway done. It's been 3 hours, and we have 100 boxes. So if I go back to the initial time, before I started loading boxes, how many boxes have I loaded? Nope, initial. I'm standing next to the truck, getting ready to load boxes. How many boxes have I loaded?
100.
Nope, that's after 3 hours. 3 hours, 100 boxes.
We've loaded the X.
Have I loaded any boxes if I'm standing next to the truck getting ready to start?
No.
No boxes. Have I started?
No.
No, so here's another point, 0, 0. Haven't started, haven't loaded a box, so that's your other point. Okay? This is what we're trying to solve for. We're trying to figure out how long it takes to do 120 boxes altogether. So I don't need this information until after I have created the equation. So we're going to use this point and this point to find my slope. So I'm going to make this the 3 100. This is my y2, x2, y2. And this is x1, y1. Okay, so I have 100 minus 0 over 3 minus 0. Which just gives you what? 100 divided by 3, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's my slope. What's my y-intercept? You have it. I know you. You can do it. I believe in you.
No.
Nope. Y-intercept is shown when x equals what?
0.
So do I have x equals 0?
0.
So my y-intercept is
0.
0. Okay. So do I have an equation?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then the question they're asking is, how long will it take me to load 120 boxes? Correct?
Yes.
And then the actual question is, how much longer after the 3 hours will it take? But we need to find out how long it takes altogether, and then we subtract the 3 hours we've already worked. Okay? So let's plug in, where would the 120 go?
For Y?
Yes! So we're going to put it right here. 120 equals 100 over 3. Man, my writing is getting worse. X. Do I need to write that plus 0 at the end? No. It's a waste of time.
No.
Good. So, let's solve for X here. How do I move this 100 over 3?
Multiplication?
Multiply what?
103?
It is technically multiplication because this is division, so we're going to flip it and multiply. So I'm going to flip this 3 over 100 because then that cancels that. And I'm going to multiply it over here. 3 over 100. Go, go, calculators, go. Because that cancels with that. I'm left with my X. What is 3 over 100 times 120?
360?
Close.
Mm.
$3.6.
Very good. Yeah, you just needed to move your decimal in and you had it.
Mm.
So 3.6, and X value is talking about hours, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
So this is 3.6 hours. Man, I can't write my decimal. It doesn't like it because it's too... Whatever. That's 3.6. Okay? So this is for the total amount of time it takes to load the truck. 3.6 hours. The question is, how many more hours do I have to work after I did my initial 3 hours? So since this is the total, 3.6, I'm going to subtract 3.6 minus how many hours I've already done. So 3.6 minus how many hours did I already work?
3.
So I have what left?
0.6.
0.6. So to answer this better, 0.6 of an hour. Does that make sense? Because 3.6, this is 0.6 of an hour. So to solve for minutes, I would take this times how many minutes are in an hour?
60.
60. Oh, but you can do 0.6 because it says hours in the question. You worked how many hours longer? So actually you can just do 0.6. 0.6 for the answer. But if you wanted to find, like if it asks you for the minutes, you do 60 times that 0.6, and that'll give you, it takes 36 more minutes to load the boxes. Alright, so we have, which points do we want to use for this?
0, 15, and 6 and 12.
I agree. 0 and 15 will make the math easy. That's a terrible line. 0. No! I hate it when my marker stops working. Can you hear me? Or do I need to wait till he's done? It's so loud. 6, 12. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you live in a house full of people. Alright. 0, 15, 6, 12. I have 2 points. Let's assign these my 2s. So x2, y2. And assign these my 1s. x1, y1. Now let's solve. So y2 minus y1 would be what? It would be a negative. 12 minus 15.
-3.
Yep.
-3.
Over, what's the bottom? 6 minus 0.
6.
Excellent. Can I reduce this negative 3/6?
Yes.
What would it be?
1/3. Negative 1/3. Half.
1/2. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So there's my slope. Do I know the y-intercept?
Yes, it's 15.
Yes.
It is 15, so I can write my equation. Y equals 1/2 x plus 15. Okay, so let's go back to the other screen. Alright, so the question they have here, the slope of what represents, so you're going to put what slope here? Negative
1/2.
Negative 1/2 represents the decrease of waste tons in every month after relocation. The y-intercept of, what's the y-intercept?
15.
Excellent.
15.
Excellent. So then it says, how many months does it take to empty the landfill? So what value, I should have just left you on the whiteboard, do I plug in so that I know I'm completely done? Where would I put? That's really a terrible way to ask that question. My bad. Let me think of a better way to say that. How much is left in the landfill once I've completely emptied it?
0.
0. Excellent. My family's over here telling me the number and telling me the answers. All right. So, yes. So the value is 0 when it's completely empty. So you're going to plug in 0 for y and solve for x, and that will tell you how long it takes us to empty it. So 0 equals negative 1/2 x plus 15. All right, how do I solve for x?
Subtract 15 to both sides.
Yep, subtract 15. So negative 15 equals negative 1/2 x. All right, so now how do I solve for how do I get the negative 1/2 away from the x?
Divide.
Divide with a fraction is flip it and multiply. Excellent. So flip it makes it a negative 2 over 1, which is just negative 2. So what is negative times a negative?
A positive.
And what is 15 times 2?
30.
Excellent. So it takes 30, what are we doing? 30 months to empty the landfill. All right, so a lifetime subscription to a website costs $250. A monthly subscription to a website costs $10 to join and then $15 per month. Write equations in slope-intercept form to represent the cost of each plan, and then let X represent the number of months. Okay, so what does a lifetime subscription cost?
$250.
$250. So is there any monthly charge?
No.
No. So then that means that's kind of like a y-intercept. So you're just going to say y equals 250 because it's just a one-time lifetime cost. There's your equation.
Yes.
Okay, so for the second one, do we have a monthly cost?
Yes.
What? So the monthly is your constant, so that would be your slope. So you're going to say, no, the monthly is not, what is the monthly?
15.
15.
Yeah, so y equals 15x. And then did it have an initial cost of any kind?
Yes.
How much?
Yeah.
$10.
10.
Okay, so that's your y-intercept. So we started at $10 and then it cost $15 a month. Do I have two equations now?
Yes.
Yes. So, then the last thing says, if you want to be a member for 1 year, which plan is less expensive? So then that
Monthly.
means we need to solve, it probably is monthly, but we need to solve for y being 1 year to see if it's cheaper. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so is the y stand for months or the x stand for months? Look up here.
X.
Yes, the x stands
X.
for months, yes. So we're going to plug in How many months for X?
12.
12, because this is for a year. Exactly. So what's 15 times 12?
180.
Plus 10.
180.
No, 190.
190.
So then a monthly subscription for 1 year costs $190. So which one is cheaper, the lifetime or the monthly?
Monthly. Lifetime.
Monthly.
The monthly, because it's only $190 for a year. So then in your explanation, you could tell me I plugged in 12 months for X and solved for Y and got 190. Therefore, the monthly subscription is cheaper. Make sense?